You're listening to Ask the Expert with Andrew Johnston. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, or whatever day that you're listening to this episode, and welcome to this week's Fast Fact episode. Today's fact comes from a comprehensive review done on the oral health of athletes, specifically those, however, with a sports-related diet. So these are going to be your high-endurance runners, your Olympians, rugby players, swimmers, professional athletes, and competitive sports athletes from all over the world. Surprisingly, and we're going to find this out really quickly, many athletes are a complete mess, dentally speaking. And it's interesting, right? Because you think, oh, these athletes, they're so in tune with their bodies. They're so smart about this. And they are taught the basics of how food is used to fuel certain body functions, because those functions need to result in outcomes specific for their sport at which they are the highest level. Are they trying to build muscle mass, or is it lean muscle? Are they trying to stay in a certain weight class, for instance, for wrestling? Is their energy output continuous, or is it a start and stop motion? Is it long or short bursts of energy output? They know through the years of training what works well for them and what doesn't. So it's fascinating to learn about these disease rates. So let's just jump into a few examples. In the London 2012 Olympic Games, caries were detected in 278 athletes who visited the dental clinic. That was 55% of everyone who visited the dental clinic. In a recent study, 132 Olympic athletes reported gingival or periodontal disease compared to 104. So the math on that's 56%. There was another study that said 36 to 85% of athletes were found with erosive tooth wear. And you might be wondering, okay, there's a range there. Why is the range so large? Because this is a collection of studies. So this is a comprehensive outlook. And so there's different studies that say different things. One group that was isolated, however, were the Dutch athletes. And it was found that they had twice the erosion, these athletes did, on their teeth than similarly aged non-athletes. And of course, part of the study is they wanted to find out, like, what are the causes of this? Like, what's happening with athletes that's different or maybe compels more of the disease to be successful in this particular area? The three main factors they found were oxidative stress, poor oral hygiene, and the sports diet. There's an increased level of oxidative stress markers noted in the blood, saliva, and the crevicular fluid in the cases of periodontal disease. And since there is an association between oxidative stress and periodontal inflammation, it was understood that this was the primary factor. Which, by the way, this in and of itself, this oxidative stress topic, I think it'd be a really good one. Maybe Katrina Sanders could do this one. I think she's a little bit better suited, but it is a really cool series of events from health to destruction with like a domino-like effect taking place. It's absolutely fascinating. So another factor are the sports diets, and these diets, unfortunately, are really high in sugars and carbohydrates. The amount of energy that these athletes need to expend each day puts a demand on the body. And so you need to have carbs and carb replacement to maintain body weight and composition. And why carbs might you be asking? It's because they're readily available and they're burn quickly. And there's a delicate balance when it comes to muscle and fat composition for athletes. And there needs to be consistency in order to be a higher achiever. And so when they have figured out their fat and muscle composition, it's easier to bring in carbs so it doesn't disrupt that composition. And then also the last one is poor oral hygiene. There are many factors, including long training days, low dental IQ, a misunderstanding, I think, of the high carb and high sugar diets. As a universal study, I think many athletes also come from places where there's just different priorities for oral health, which might be culturally related or socioeconomic related. It could be a lot of different things. So yes, interesting information here, Andrew, but we're not seeing Olympians and we're not seeing any pro athletes in our chair. No, maybe not. But I guess what I wanted to do is give you one of these interesting nuggets that you can just squirrel away in the recesses of your brain until you have a person who maybe it runs 10 miles every day and does those energy packed gels. And then they always have decay when they show up. Or maybe your patient's talking, you're listening to them talk about their partner and, hey, these are the healthy habits. I'm, so jealous of my partner who cycles for 50 miles, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, but yet they still can't control their periodontal disease. There are all these correlations that might be happening. And I'm hoping that in far and few between type cases, you might be the person that figures out what's going on with these people and no one else can. So thanks for joining me this week. If you want to reach out, Andrew@ataleoftwohygienists.com. Appreciate you all. Thanks and have a great week. Thank you for listening to Fast Facts Ask the Expert. If you have a topic you'd like one of our experts to answer, simply email me, Andrew@ataleoftwohygienists.com, and we will get it on the air as soon as possible. Thanks for listening.